are, and our checks are showing that they are fronts for other people. It's unfortunate, and we hope that is clarified. Who are the people behind, the present lease? And why it is important is that who stands behind this deal says a lot about their credibility and what they come to the table with.
Just so you know, the total operating expenses for TAM are $20 million, with TAM investing $22 million to revamp the refinery. For Kofi Bentel, Tor is an asset that can generate millions of dollars than what will be derived from this very deal.
There's no value for money in it for Ghana. And it is just one of the same things that we've been doing all over this time, where people parcel up, state assets for their friends and then leave us with the debts and then the liabilities.
It is on record that CSO sought some answers from government, but they were not forthcoming. But those that spoke to the agreement were quite defensive. In the coming days, TOR Professional and Managerial Staff Union and the General Transport, Petroleum and Chemical Workers Union of TUC will be holding a press conference to make known their decision on this very matter. We will be following closely on this very development and update you accordingly. Josh Quinn, TV3 News, Accra.
Elsewhere, residents of Tamale and adjoining communities are bracing themselves for a looming water shortage following power disconnection of the Dalong water treatment plant by NETCO. NETCO, I beg your pardon. Now, according to the power distribution company, the Ghana Water Company owes them over 39 million cedis in electricity bills.
The Dalong water treatment plant is the biggest treatment plant in the northern region and supplies water to residents in Tamale and its environs.
The situation has had a toll on customers in the metropolis. These tanker drivers and their vehicles you see behind me have been waiting here since morning, hoping to get water to supply to their customers. Unfortunately, till now, they are unable to get water.
Frankly speaking, it's affecting us because some people come here to demand for the water, but due to that that's happening at the Dalong Center, they are not able to pump water to us.
The Tamale Teaching Hospital is one of the facilities that is expected to be heavily hit if the situation is not immediately addressed.
It's a very serious issue here because the underground reserve facility that I mentioned, I'm sure in the next 2 days, if we don't get supplies, then it means that we're going to run out of water. If you look at some of the medical equipment we use here, they are very sensitive, especially to death. And so because of that, we are unable to fetch or use water from any other source apart from Ghana Water. They treat the water they pump to us, and even when it gets to our facility here, we also have to treat it again. And so, like you mentioned, the dialysis and other units actually depend on this kind of arrangement that we have. And so to the extent that we will not be getting supply from Ghana Water, it's going to be a huge issue for us.
Sachet water business will not also be spared.
It's not going to be easy at all, because in Tamale we have about 2% of the total producers using borehole water. So the rest of the 98% would not have water to produce such a water.
Christopher Mwako, TV3 News, Tamale.
Government has justified the redevelopment of the Tamale Abuabu timber market and given it out to a private developer. Despite the initial denial by the Lands Commission, the Lands Minister Samuel Abu Jinapo has confirmed an elaborate plan to redevelop the area.
It remains the biggest timber trade point in the northern sector, located in the heart of Tamale. Traders in May 2021 expressed worry about the land they operate and pay taxes on to the state now being given to a new developer. Several press conferences have been held by the traders asking government and the Lands Commission for clarity on the matter. After several agitations, a news conference in Tamale was organized by the Northern Regional Surveyor of the Lands Commission, Benjamin Jojo Edu Hansen, who said the timber market is not the property of the Forestry Commission and records held at the Lands Commission do not reflect that it has been sold, a story published by the state broadcaster GBC Online. Subsequently, a question was filed by the Tamale North MP Al-Hassan Suhini in Parliament.
Is it not therefore shocking that in answer to the question, the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources states on page 10 that, Mr. Speaker, as part of the redevelopment scheme by a lease dated 15 December 2020, but taking effect from 29 August 2020. You don't even know what that means. If a lease is dated 15 December 2020, how does it take effect on 29 August 2020? Because August comes before December. Apart from this, what does this say about that press conference that was held in 2021 by the Regional Lands Commission to assure the people that nothing was happening to that land?
The Lands Minister, who has oversight responsibility over the Lands Commission, has for the first time put records to bear sharply different from the position of the Lands Commission in Tamale.
It forms part of the broader scheme of government redevelopment. The leases which were granted before I assumed office, and the people who are authorized to grant leases in favor of private developers are the Lands Commission acting in the name of the President. And that is what happened on the 29th August 2020. As I said, again, they claim that there are permanent structures and it's going to affect individuals and is insensitive. That also is another palpable falsehood.
Traders, according to the Minister Abu Jenapo, will be properly compensated. Komla Kluche, TV3 News, Accra.
A reminder, you're still watching News 360. This is our major news bulletin for the day. We're streaming live on Facebook. We're also live on your DSTV channel 279. To one of our top stories this hour, the National House of Chiefs has called for a review of the President's appointment of the Chief Justice. The traditional leaders advocates for a reverse Chief Justice selection following the old convention where the longer-serving Supreme Court judge became the Chief Justice, arguing that junior selection over seniors could be demoralizing and undermine integrity.
The appointment of the Chief Justice here in Ghana is done by the President in consultation with the Council of State and then a vetting and approval from Parliament. According to the 1992 Constitution, there have been calls for a review of this process, and the National House of Chiefs did not mince words in making the call.
The appointment of the Chief Justice as provided for in Article 144.1. Now, the view is that it should be the most senior judge of the Supreme Court who should become the Chief Justice, instead of this power of appointment by the President. Now, when I was called to the bar, there was some, I don't know whether to call it an unwritten convention, but it was almost invariably the judge who was next in seniority to the Chief Justice who became the Chief Justice, or who took over as Chief Justice. When I was called to the bar, which was relatively a couple of years ago, Mr. Justice Apalu was then the Chief Justice. When he retired, his position was taken over by Justice Soa. I think after Justice Soa came Justice Archer. And then after Justice Archer, Justice Aban. I think it was just following that convention.
The chiefs have argued that this is not only demoralizing, but it also questions the confidence and integrity of the Supreme Court.
What is happening now is, again, because of the fact that the Supreme Court is a human institution, serves to demoralize the judges. Picture this. I have worked in the Supreme Court for all these years, and it is now my turn to become the Chief Justice by virtue of the fact that I am next in seniority to the incumbent. And then suddenly I am passed over, and maybe a relatively junior justice is put over me as Chief Justice. Naturally, such a person would feel demoralized. We would suggest that we could go back to that unwritten convention. If he was qualified enough to be appointed to the Supreme Court, I think he is qualified enough to become Chief Justice.
As to how the response to these calls will pan out, it is early days yet. Grace Asari-Agyemang, TV3 News, Accra.
Well, this appears to be a pretty interesting story. We're going to stay a while longer on it. Let's hop now onto the phone lines to speak to lawyer Martin Pegbu. He's a legal practitioner. Thanks, Mr. Pegbu, for your time, and good to have you on News 360. The process we have at the moment, at least for now, appears to be a new convention, and we haven't had any of the Supreme Court justices complain about what we're seeing now. At least publicly. So what is the difficulty with the National House of Chiefs then? Hello, Mr. Pegbu, can you hear me? I am afraid we don't have lawyer Martin Pegbu on the phone line. To remind you, you're still watching News 360. This is our major news bulletin for the day. We're streaming live on Facebook. We're also live on your DSTV channel 279. You can join us with the views, comments, and suggestions on any of our top stories this hour. Just visit any of our social media pages on Facebook and on Twitter. We're dying to hear what you make of our top stories tonight.
In more news tonight, the National Teaching Council claims over 6,000 teachers who failed the licensure exams are not cut out for the profession. However, Ghana's National Association of Teachers is calling for a national dialogue on the mass failure rather than accusing teachers. Daniel Opoku has the rest of the story. We'll bring you that story later on in the bulletin.
All right, Portia, thank you. Let's go live to the phone lines and speak to lawyer Martin Pegbu. I'm sure you've heard the concerns raised by the National House of Chiefs about the mode of appointment of chief justices. They seem quite unhappy about the process at the moment, where it appears some seniors are overlooked for juniors. What's the difficulty with that, sir?
Well, okay, so you've heard how they've articulated the reasons. Now, the point is this. You know, every system or every approach to appointment has its own drawbacks. So it will have the advantages and disadvantages, or pros and cons. From where I sit, if we just say, just going by seniority alone, you know, it's not every senior who may be the best material. That's a challenge. Not every senior will necessarily be better than the junior. So, but like I've said, they also National House of Chiefs, you know, these are our custodians of our culture, our history and all that, the landowners. So they also have something to say. So what I see in the suggestion from National House of Chiefs is that we all want a system where the powers of the president will be curtailed, the appointment powers, we want them curtailed, rather than the president choosing favorites, etc. Because, and it's very, you know, it's a political decision. It's not just based on merit. And that's why, you know, politics looms very large in the whole process. It's actually very political, right? So that's what the National House of Chiefs want to avoid. So to that extent, I agree that we should look at it, right? So bottom line, meaning that we wish that the president doesn't appoint a chief justice, because the president has too much power under Article 58 and 59 of the Constitution. So you see that too much power given to the executive president. So we are looking forward to a new constitution where we'll cut back on a lot of the powers. You see, the constitution doesn't even align with our culture, but one man cannot embrace a baobab tree. So when you put too much power in one man, then it doesn't even align with our culture, where you see that Now, culture, different rules are given to different people, and they are done in such a way that they will be as independent as possible. But
one of the things the National House of Chiefs talks about is the propensity or the tendency to create disaffection and also demoralize some of the seniors within the bench, I guess. Is it ever possible that perhaps some of the Supreme Court justices could be speaking in secret and expressing their frustrations to members of the National House of Chiefs when you look at the manner in which they spoke about this matter?
Now, what I see is that what do you call it? You can say, well, not that I don't subscribe to the thinking that the older ones will get frustrated. No, in life there might be a competition or a sort to be able to get the best. So that, like I've told you, we can't just assume that the oldest are the best. No, that's one. It looks difficult to sustain because we have different what do you call it, attitudes and all that in life. So to just say that the older one should automatically take it, something I'm so grappling with. That's why I said, by the suggestion they are making, what is very clear to them is that they also don't wish that the appointing, what do you call it, authority be the president. That selection. That's where the core thing is, because the president is been given too much power under the Constitution. So let's continue to debate, but one thing is very clear, cut down the powers. We wish that the president has no hand in the appointment of a Chief Justice because we wish it to be truly independent. And we've seen that from our history. Usually, our presidents will choose the ones that they think they are very comfortable with. So it's about the president of his party. It's not just about the nation. No. Let's not say that. The first criteria will be that is this somebody we can rely on in times of crisis? Personally, me and my party. That's putting it very bluntly, because this is, if we try to be very politically correct, we would not say that. But that is the real truth. So we wish that the president has no hand in the appointment of the Chief Justice. And the reason, the current Chief Justice, she did very well after confirmation hearings. You heard her say that she wishes that the president has no role in the disciplinary structure. The president has no role in the removal of a Chief Justice. You heard it loud and clear. So that is it. So it means that to move this country forward, we should stop. Because, you see, we presume that the president will be the best in the best for the country, or he'll be the best talent in the whole country. But that's not proven to be true. Apart from Professor Mills, the rest, you've seen how we've had problems with their ethics while they are in office, corruption and all that. They are usually not the best. They usually have left us wondering what kind of people we've elected into office. So it's about time we took steps to cut down the powers.
Right. Lawyer Martin Pegbo, I thank you for your time here on News 360.
So our earlier story where the National Teaching Council claims over 6,000 teachers who failed the licensure exams are not cut out for the profession. However, the Ghana National Association of Teachers is calling for a national dialogue on the mass failure rather than accusing teachers. Our Labour correspondent Daniel Opoku has the rest of the story.
7,728 teachers sat for the licensure exams. 1,277 passed, while 6,481, representing 83%, failed. Some of the teachers, according to the NTC, had written the exams more than 5 times. Those who failed have up to November to resit or forfeit it.
Sometimes it's funny. You see candidates who could not write the exam who go and write, please help me, a teacher will write in the script, help me, my telephone number is this, I'll compensate you. So we will need to investigate. Such candidates are invited and we investigate them, so we withhold their results. Recently, the recent one they wrote, somebody wrote a prophet's name instead of writing an essay. He just wrote a prophet's name there, thinking that a miracle will occur for him to pass. By November, they have the chance to sit for the last time for this particular kind of exam. If they are not successful, then they have to transition to the new one that is coming. What makes this one challenging to those people is that some of them might have passed 1 paper or 2 papers out of the 3. Yeah. But the moment you are transitioning to the new system, the new dispensation, it means you have to forgo those two that you passed, or the one that you passed, and start afresh with a new dispensation.
He pointed out that those who failed could seek remarking or legal redress.
For legal redress, I don't have any power to stop anybody from going anywhere. But the process is that if you are dissatisfied with the results and you want a remark, you pay your remark fee, and then we give you the chance, and then we appoint neutral examiners to come and then remark for you. We have few occasions that people have doubted or disputed results and have come for remarking, but almost all of them, they were not successful.
But the General Secretary of the Ghana National Association of Teachers, NAT, Thomas Musa Tanko, proposed a national dialogue to address the mass failure.
We need to look at the entering qualification, number 1. We look at the training institution, number 2. We look at NTC itself, number 4. We look at the tech and the student themselves. This is the chain. We cannot exempt anyone at this particular point in time because we want to get it right. And because we want to get it right, we need to look at all the things that happened within the process. And that will help us understand the issues.
Graduates from the colleges of education have to pass the licensure exam before they can be recruited into the Ghana Education Service.
You're still watching News 360 live from the News Hub here at Adesa Wikanda. We have business news coming up shortly. Don't go away.
Gentlemen, we're going to demonstrate to you the superior properties of Flamingo paint as compared to other paint brands on the market. We take equal quantities of Flamingo paint and this ordinary paint. We then dilute them with water. And now, let the test begin. The gentleman on the left is going to apply the ordinary paint, and the gentleman on my right will use the Flamingo superior paint. As you can clearly see, Flamingo has the obvious better hiding. Furthermore, Flamingo has painted a much larger area. You know, 1 bucket of Flamingo paint is equal to several buckets of any other paint brand on the market. Flamingo paint is made with superior formulation to give superior durability, superior hiding, superior coverage. Flamingo paint, simply superior.
Many people think I get whatever I want because I'm a popular actress. But no, that is not true. Me Ankasano, Adebia mi yebiano, me shishimpe papano. And when I find it, I stick to it. My shishimenya Bell Pack tissues. Bell Pack ewe tea roll. Bell Pack tea roll. Soft, but not weak. Strong, but not hard. It is smooth. Me yusua, me hot tummy. It's just perfect. Same as the kitchen towel. What about what? What me the papaye? What me soki? Echimu esa pepa. 1 Bell Pack kitchen towel lasts longer and saves you money. It's time you switch to Bell Pack today. Say your pocket tissue, table napkin, tea roll, and a kitchen towel. Bell Pack is simply the best. It's just perfect. Nothing feels so good like Bell Pack.
You are your own person, unique, one of a kind, special. That's why you deserve everything tailored to suit your particular taste, your preference, your needs. Just like MTN Just For You. You can get customized offers tailored to who you are. Dial *141# or use the MyMTN app to get to choose from a variety of offers made just for you.
This is the breaking news. About 2,500 people 2,500 people have been.
We'll be right back after a commercial break.
When stubborn coughs, colds, and catarrh interrupt your life, get fast relief with Stop Cough. The Stop Cough range is suitable for adults, children, and babies.
In today's breaking news, Alex is back and...
There is a Stop Cough for every cough and for everyone.
There surely is.
Ask your pharmacist about the right stop cough for you. The Stop Cough range is manufactured and distributed by NS Chemist Limited. This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the FD.
The sweet scent of rose in the morning brings me so much joy. Inspired by damask rose and infused with 100% natural rose oil. Introducing new Clay Soft Perfume Beads Washing Powder. It's like bringing a garden with you everywhere with this wonderful perfume. Take a garden with you everywhere you go with Clay Soft Perfume Beads Washing Powder.
Mothers of Africa.
Mama, will I ever be a soccer champion for Ghana?
Well, you've got to be like a geisha ball. Stay strong and go so far. Never give up till you reach your goal.
Okay, Mama, I'll be strong and go so far, lasting long like this geisha ball.
Be strong and last long
like geisha.
The business segment is brought to you by MTN.
Good evening and welcome to the very latest in the world of business. Now, the actions of credit rating agencies have generated a lot of conversation at the just-ended Afrexim Bank annual meetings, while some financial leaders on the continent believe some rating agencies are reckless. Others are asking leaders on the continent to be measured in their backlash of the agencies. My colleague Nekria Mensah Brampa brings us a summary of the summit held in Accra.
The summit has been climaxed with a series of plenary sessions on how participating countries can develop through industrialization. Topical among the day's discussions was the impact of rating agencies on the economic activities and gains of the continent. Some African governors and Ghana's president, for instance, have described these downgrades as reckless.
The leader of a country which recently had to deal with one of the most difficult periods in its post-independent history, difficulties which were exacerbated by the reckless behavior of rating agencies that engaged in pro-cyclical downgrades, shutting Ghana out of capital market.
Pick the case of Nigeria. The rating agencies we've spoken about, they quickly downgraded Nigeria from B2 to B2 minus to CAA, And what that means is that the cost of raising money for Nigeria has just gone through the roof. If you were to ask the rating agencies, why do you think, the rating for Nigeria is the right rating? They will tell you very quickly that the debt profile is very high.
For others, however, rating agencies must not be blamed for the risks in African sovereign bonds, and this is why.
There's a lot of discussion on perceptions of risk. The rating agencies are blamed for much of that, and the investors are blamed for that. And I think that there is a very interesting question that can be raised as to how do you address both real risk and perceived risk. Perceived risk, I thought, should be addressed 20 years ago. 20 years later, we have a $300 billion market for African sovereign bonds, which would not have existed without those sovereign ratings. So let's not forget, when we bashed the rating agencies, those ratings made it possible to get those bond issues done.
5 MOUs were signed, and the bank also launched its trade reports for the year 2023. The report highlights trade and economic development in Africa and other parts of the world. According to the report, intra-African trade reached $193.17 billion, growing by 18.6% in 2022, and this was achievable through the implementation of the African Continental Free Trade Area, AFCFTA. Dr. Hippolyte Fofak is a chief economist and director of research at the Afrexim Bank.
We see in this report, it argues for the need to have essentially robust industrial policies, the need to successfully deliver on the rules of origin to actually accelerate the process industrializations and the source of growth.
For the Afrexim Bank, 30 years of investment and transformation of the continent means more and can be done to strengthen African multilateral institutions to build prosperity for Africans. Nana Nekria Mensah Brampa, 3 Business, AICC.
In other news tonight, Governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Ernest Addison, has proposed the acquisition of an African Caribbean airline that will be used to bridge the distance between countries for intra-Africa trade. Speaking at the just-ended Afrexim Bank Annual Summit, Dr. Addison said bridging the gap between both regions will contribute to promoting trade with the Caribbean and diaspora in goods and services, investment and economic opportunities.
The biggest problem that we have with African Caribbean trade is about the distance. Major infrastructural bottlenecks. African Caribbean airline, which would really lead to the kind of integration that we are looking at. So we need to encourage the investments in air and maritime transportation.
Other governors and financial leaders on the continent touched on the need for government in the African continent to develop policies that will enhance buffers and create an enabling environment. Some believe governments are directing their capital to wrong projects.
If we look at agriculture and you look at lending in commercial banks and the percentage of banks' balance sheets that go to agriculture, it is probably in single digits in most countries. Yet agriculture employs most people and supports the livelihoods of most people. So there's work that I think we need to do in agriculture.
As an institution, you need to be fit for purpose and be attractive to providers of the capital that you need, whether it's equity or debt. But you also need to develop products that are targeted at the areas that you want to develop.
For these leaders, institutions must also make themselves more attractive and have targeted projects to enable them have easy access to unlock the needed capital.
Vodafone Ghana has launched a new cashback initiative, the Edemu Promo. The promotion offers customers up to 20% cashback on their recharge level.
The promotion, which commenced on June 13 and open to all consumers and mobile prepaid, applies to single 5 CD top-up via digital platforms like Vodafone Cash, MVA, EDV, and approved third-party channels.
Why is Edemu Promo so exciting? It's because it offers up to 20% instant cashback to everybody on the network. What does that mean? It means if you reload as much as 100 CD, you are going to get an instant cashback up to 20 CD as long as you have a reload of 5 CD and above. And everybody's a winner. We are not excluding anybody. This is open to both existing and new customers.
However, purchases for numbers on other networks will not attract cashback rewards.
Tell your friends and your family that the time has come that they need to get a Vodafone SIM card in order to get this reward. Here at Vodafone, we believe that it's important to foster both digital and financial inclusion, making sure that the marriage of both digital and financial inclusion can empower everybody. And Edemu Promos offers that. The up to 20% of instant cash you get back, you can use it to do anything. You can use it to buy reloads, you can use it to buy anything you prefer.
The Edemu Promo is another step in Vodafone Ghana's journey towards a more connected and digitally empowered future.
Well, that's it for the very latest in the world of business. For more business news stories, do well to visit our website on www.3news.com.
You are your own person, unique, one of a kind, special. That's why you deserve everything tailored to suit your particular taste, your preference, your needs. Just like MTN Just For You. You can get customized offers tailored to who you are. Dial *141# or use the MyMTN app to get to choose from a variety of offers made just for you.
GASM, with over 50 years of experience, has various grades for various jobs. The GASM Extra 42.5N is suitable for ultra-high strength structural application like bridges, dams and high-rise buildings. The GASM Super Strong 42.5R was made for high structural applications like precast concrete and block manufacturing. The Gasem Super Rapid 32.5R is here for normal building foundations like strip foundation and other ordinary concrete works. The Gasem Super Cool 32.5N is best for all block laying, tiling and other mortar works. Never believe that one grade of cement can be used for all jobs. Choose Gasem Cement always. Gasem, 4 cement grades, excellent customer value. Gasem, the nation builder.
For break times, for party times, for snack times. Anytime is a good time with Munchie Anytime Crackers.
This advert is FDA.
Are you tired of struggling with bad financial situations? At Quick Credit, we understand the difficulties that come with transitioning to a better one. That's why we're here to simplify the process for you. With loan facilities from 1,500 cedis upwards, all you have to do is call and we will take care of the rest. All you need is your national ID. No savings, no collateral, no susu, no deposits, and no account opening required. Quick Credit has you covered. Whether you're expanding a business, starting a new one, facing an emergency like school fees or funeral expenses, or even just in need of a salary loan. What are you waiting for? Call Quick Credit today. 0302 200 390 or 059 692 0833. We do not give loans via the internet. Quick Credit is regulated and licensed by the Bank of Ghana. Terms and conditions apply. Quick Credit. Lending made simple.
Water is life. Water gives life. Water moves through nature in a never-ending cycle. Observe the beauty of water as it flows all around us, refreshing and restoring. Gaze in wonder at the stillness and beauty of nature. There's harmony in nature everywhere around. Water revitalizes the body and keeps you going strong. Water is life. Water gives life. Drink Awake Purified Drinking Water. One for life. So relax and unwind, and in the calmness of nature, find the rest you desire. For every bottle of Awake you buy, an amount to be donated to the National Cardiothoracic Center. This advert is a
Sports segment is brought to you by
Gentleman Cosmetic Range.
Nyan is here to give us the latest updates in the world of sports, and Asamoah Gyan bidding
the
goodbye.
Legend he is.
Yes.
Who doesn't know Asamoah Gyan in this country? And of course, it's all for everything that he's done on the pitch and, helped raise hopes, although sometimes let them down in equal fashion, of course, in the world of football. But let's get right into it. And Asamoah Gyan has announced his retirement from professional football, leaving Ghanaians with a treasure trove of memories from his illustrious career. The former Ghana captain's decision to hang up his boots marks the end of an era and prompts reflection on his remarkable journey as one of the nation's most beloved footballers. As Gyan bids farewell to professional football, Ghanaians reminisce about the joy he brought to the nation with his spectacular goals and unforgettable celebrations. Gyan's retirement marks the end of a remarkable journey that saw him become Ghana's all-time leading scorer, netting an impressive 51 goals and 109 appearances for the national team. Released after his retirement, he says that I want to take this opportunity, a stage that is difficult in every footballer's career, a moment all footballers do not wish, but when nature dawns, that thing voice will keep echoing into the ears. It is time. He also goes on to say at the bottom of this, again, I will put my experience and knowledge to use in the field of coaching, football, business, and scouting. I want to thank my beloved country, Ghana, my family, my colleagues from school, those from Colts and Black Stars from 2002 to date. clubmates, coaches, everybody, obviously, that has helped in his career. Here's how Asamoah Gyan announced his retirement to the world.
Tell everybody, I've officially retired from football.
Whoa!
And very, very emotional, as he said. It's a very, very difficult moment. It's something that you love, something that you've
it's our dream.
Done since your childhood, and then living it at this moment. And I'm very happy. I'm very happy to use this platform. And it's official right now. All the journalists, everybody.
Ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen.
Now here's an explainer from my colleague Orioku Ampofo on Asamoah Gyan's biggest achievements for the Black Stars.
On 19 November 2003, a star was born in Ghana. Asamoah Gyan climbed off the bench to score his first ever goal for the Black Stars 3 days before he turned 18 against Somalia, a goal that would make him the youngest ever scorer for the Black Stars. But little did we know how big this boy would become. Now, he went on to add 50 more goals to become Ghana's all-time top scorer. He has 51 goals, a record that would live through various generations, considering the gap between himself and then the next active player on the list. Gyan went on to represent Ghana at the World Cup and the Africa Cup of Nations, scoring his catalogue, including the one versus England, the goals versus the United States of America, and then that record-breaking goal against Portugal in the 2014 World Cup that made him the highest ever scorer for an African at the World Cup. There are more records that Gyan went on to set. For instance, before Cristiano Ronaldo set that record of scoring in 10 consecutive international tournaments, Gyan held that record for the longest period, scoring in 9 consecutive international tournaments. The only dent is that Gyan retires without an international trophy for Ghana. He came close on several occasions, finishing second in the Africa Cup of Nations twice, and then picking up a bronze medal with the Black Stars. As I said earlier, there's so much to choose from in terms of his catalogue of goals. For me, I'll choose that goal against England in Wembley. What's your favourite Gyan goal?
Suleiman Tari through to Gyan, who's onside. It's Asamoah Gyan.
Several success stories, several achievements, several milestones. Asamoah Gyan will bring you more on this, plus other sports stories subsequently right here on TV3. My name is Theo, and thank you very much for joining me. The news continues, so don't go anywhere.
A gentleman. It's how the need to protect the things that matter pushes him to persevere. It's how he immerses himself in thoughtfulness. It's how trust is his shield. You can smell his integrity from a mile away. Introducing the Gentleman's Cosmetic Range. Be one of us. Be a gentleman. Ye Abrantier.
Pepsodent is aware that globally, 1 in 2 children suffer from cavities. That's why by giving her Pepsodent, you're not only protecting her teeth, but also helping her grow up and thrive at every stage of her life with a healthy and confident smile, so she can succeed and achieve all of her dreams. Because every smile matters.
Enjoy the fruits of your labor, they say, but as humans, aging and physical infirmity stands our way of enjoying our mansions and homes. It often becomes challenging, if not impossible, to use our stairways day in, day out. With portable American pneumatic vacuum elevators, PVs, you are assured of unlimited enjoyment of your mansions and homes. It's a self-supported elevator for vertical movement of humans and goods at homes and offices. The original comes in 3 custom-made tailor-made models with wheelchair accessibility. Call it luxury, but it's a necessary imperative for vertical mobility. Do not let aging or infirmity limit you. Get one for your easy vertical mobility at home. It's affordable and can be installed in just 3 days without modification to your existing building. It's however easier to incorporate it at the construction stage. We also have traditional Fuji elevators and escalators for your high-rise buildings and malls. Visit Lifts and Elevators Company Limited at Sakumono for your elevators nationwide. For free consultation to call or WhatsApp us on 0200-535-515. Lifts and Elevators, the elevator people.
Sugar and Kabu became
Ma, Epereto data, Ebony Day, *700#.
B-O-Y, ball. Taxi. Further together.
You can be part of a greater data world of endless possibilities on Vodafone. With the best value and amazing data offers and services in Ghana, you can now dream bigger, explore wider, go further, get more for less with Vodafone data.
We can do anything we put our mind to.
Vodafone, further together.
Entertainment news segment is brought to you by Awake Purified Drinking Water and powered by 3 Entertainment.
Welcome to the Entertainment News segment. My name is Anita Ikia Ekufuan. In commemoration of the 2023 World Music Day, Charterhouse, in support from its key partners, will organize a summit to provide tutelage on the essentials of the music business. Stakeholders will also dialogue on how to broaden the bracket of A-list artists and ensure that Ghana produces great music talents with global appeal.
The World Music Day is a day designated to promote music and encourage fans to experience the joy of playing or listening to music. As part of activities lined up for the global celebration of music, Charterhouse will organize the VGMA National Music Summit to school stakeholders on the essentials of the music business.
We're going to have a workshop for the unsung and upcoming artists. There's going to be tutelage on the essentials of music business. And we have seasoned folks within the space, people who have experience, who have been there, done that, coming to share the basic or the essentials of music business. And we are hoping that everybody can come round and come and study or come in dialogue with them.
Stakeholders will also deliberate on how to discover and nurture talent who will be competitive globally.
Second session, which is a national dialogue. The main question we are trying to answer with that particular dialogue is how we can broaden the bracket of A-list artists. How do we push more people to get to A-list artist level with a global appeal, so that at the end of the day we can have more success coming up from this particular country.
The VGMA National Music Summit will take place on Wednesday, June 21 at the La Palm Royal Beach Hotel in Accra.
Inviting everybody and anybody to be a part of this. However, we ask for you to visit our social media pages, Ghana Music Awards, and follow the instructions there to participate. There's a number you're supposed to be calling, book your seat so you can be a part of this.
And still in music, organizers of Ghana's biggest outdoor music and cultural festival in the UK, Party in the Park, have outdoored A-list artists lineup for this year's event. The much-anticipated festival will feature sought-after music talents like R2B's Samini, Medical, VVIP, Mr. Drew, and a host of others.
Oh my God!
Hosted by the Aquaba Group, the festival attracts over 8,000 people, making it the biggest Ghanaian event outside Ghana. The 19th edition of the highly anticipated festival will open on Saturday, 15 July at the Trent Park in London with music, food, and a 2-day Ghana Business Expo to showcase the country's rich cultural heritage and more. There will be back-to-back performances by some of Ghana's top talents.
lineup you see is, the feedback we got from the people, the fans, the audience, so these are the people, lots of them wanted to see, so that's what we decided to go with.
Speaking to 3 Entertainment, Chris Coney, member of the communications team, assured music enthusiasts of a better party in the park this year.
We've gone back, we've done our homework, and we've gone beyond ourselves to ensure this year everything we've promised is going to happen. It's important to ensure we deliver on our promise, and we've always done that. Unfortunately, we had such a situation last year, but like I can say to you, we've worked around the time and around the clock to ensure this year everything is going to go smooth.
Country rep and deputy CEO of the creative arts agency Frankie 5 called on stakeholders to make the best of the opportunity to promote Guinean music, arts and culture globally.
For us, this conversation on our music going global, that's been even recognized by the Grammys. This is one of the platforms that we can begin to extend the conversation, because it's not just about mentioning high life or Ghanaian drill, it's about how you are able to market that sound. So for us as Creative Arts Agency, I believe that this is one of the avenues for us to be able to market, promote and sell our creative.
My name is Anita Ikufu, and I'll be your for the entertainment news segment. Have a good evening.
The tourist submersible that went missing on a visit to the wreck of the Titanic with 5 people on board has just 40 hours of breathable air left, the U.S. Coast Guard says. Captain Jamie Frederick has told a news conference that the search for the missing vessel is very complex and teams are working around the clock. British-Pakistani businessman Shahzada Dawood and his son Suleiman are 2 of the 5 on board, along with British businessman and explorer Hamish Harden. Paul Henry Nargeolet, a former French Navy diver who has explored the Titanic before, is also on the vessel, as is Stockton Rush, chief executive of Ocean Gate, the firm behind the dive.
Well, that's it, right?
Exactly. That's it for News 360. For more news updates, do log on to our website at 3news.com. Later at 10 p.m., do join Alfred Okanse for Ghana Tonight. I am Portia Gabo.
And my name is Pa Kusiasari.